Hey FlossTube, it's Lori McCleary, Texstylust. Welcome to my channel. Hi FlossTubies, it's Lori. Once again, I had planned on being back in a couple weeks, and it's been several, but that's okay because I have a lot to show you today. And I have some whips, I have some finishes, some fully finishes. I have a significant amount of haul because I have been to retreat and a couple classes since we last spoke. And then I have some plans. So let's go ahead and get started. I have an absolutely full table here in front of me, so I'm not quite sure where to begin. And also today you can see I'm back in my small studio for the summer. I have, I'm getting ready for retreat, and my son is hanging out with me for the summer and working at one of the local ranches, which is fun. I love having my number one son here with me. He's my only son, but as I point out, that makes him number one. But let's go ahead and let's see, I need to actually shift some piles here. I'll show you some things that I've been working on, and then I have several finishes, which of course I was also working on, but I'll get started with the ones that are not quite done yet. The first one we're going to look at is Summer at Cherry Hill. This is a Brenda Gervais pattern, and I am stitching this on, I'm going to look at my little tag here. I think it's a 40 count Lakeside Linen buttermilk, vintage buttermilk. So here is my progress. I've picked this up and put this down for a couple of summers. I don't think I'm actually going to get it finished this summer, but you never know. There is a significant amount of grass in there, and right now I'm working on the motifs. But I think once the grass is done and the tree trunk, oops, things are already falling, and the tree trunk has grown, it has been built, then it will go pretty fast after that. And that is going to go into my cottage bedroom, my retreat cottage bedroom. And these are the floss that it is. These are all the call for. And I love this one. I think it's so pretty, and it's going to be such a beautiful piece to hang on the wall in the cottage bedroom. I think it's going to go lovely. And I have that in a matching red project bag. So I put a little bit of work on that, and now I'm looking at where am I going to hang these things. Hold please, let me find something to stack everything on. Okay, sorry about that. The next thing that I've put a few stitches on is something that I also started quite a while ago. This is my working copy, so it isn't in black and white, but it's Ida Nolt Revisited, and I love this stitch. It is by Hands to Work, and it was, I think it came out many years ago, and then there was, this is the reprint or the second iteration. And I like it because it's very arts and crafts looking, which will match my decor. I am doing this on, let's see, I don't have the count. Oh, it's a 30 count. I'm doing this on a 30 count, I'm going to put something behind it, 30 count Weeks Dye Works Cappuccino. And it is just beautiful. Now it calls for all DMC, and the DMCs are very pretty. I'm sorry, do I have, no, I don't have something in there. But these are the colors, and I think if I come back here, this is a little bit better on the color. As I mentioned, I'm using some new lighting, or maybe I didn't mention. I'm using some lighting in this studio that I've never used before, so I'm hoping that I will get some more true to color on on these. That looks pretty good. These are the colors of this, and this is being done 2/2, and I think it's going to be gorgeous. So I'm enjoying stitching on that one. I like switching back and forth between like 40 count and 30 or 32 count. It's just kind of gives your eyes a rest, and it just, I don't know, I don't get as tired easily doing it that way. Let's see, what do I have here? That's a plan. Okay, so those are things that I've been working on that are not finished, but I have several things that I've been working on that are finished. And in no particular order, because some of them I finished 2 or 3 weeks ago, and some of them are recently finished. This one, let me get out the box. This is a little stitch that was an extra stitch from a Brenda Gervais retreat back in 2019. The 2019, it was still called the Midwest Cross Stitch Retreat at that time. And I think this was Brenda's, this was the first retreat that we did with Brenda. She's been there a couple times. And this is called a Needleworker's Accoutrement. And we got this great card and all of the floss. This is actually one of 2 stitches that were bonus stitches that came with the retreat box. And it comes with a little tart pan and a little, I don't know what they call it. It's like a finial that you would normally use for like a candle holder. And then Brenda calls for it to be painted a barn red to kind of match the red in the stitch. And I haven't decided whether I'm going to do the barn red or whether I'm going to leave this color and maybe stain this dark, which would match my other decor. This is the trim that was included with the kit to go with it, that goes around the edge. And then during the retreat, we made these raspberries. And the pin is like a corsage pin, and we painted the head of it. And then the wax raspberries were included. And then there were little, see if I can get that in there. We cut out a little bit of wool for the strawberry top. And then we use some antiquing wax to antique that. So that's going to go in the top of that when that's done. So this was the pattern. I'm fairly confident this has not been released, but this is what it will look like when it's done. And then the other thing that came with it was this kind of needle roll, which I have not stitched yet, but it's still in there. And there was enough floss on here and enough linen to do all of that. So that's still in my box to do. The original, the actual kit, the retreat kit, was Little Red Schoolhouse. I have that started. I haven't worked on it in quite a while, but that's part of that. If you want to see this completed, go look at Kyle Reckemeyer's Instagram. I believe he has I think he finished it before anybody else did. If you want to see the Little Red Schoolhouse, it's a really, really cute sampler, and I definitely want to finish that one. But that was a finish, but not a fully finish, and I think it's wonderful. It's also going to go in the cottage bedroom. The summertime cottage bedroom is going to be roses and strawberries, so that's why I stitched that in. I want to thank the Sable Stitchers, because I had totally forgotten about this little stitch until they showed it on their FlossTube, and it's like, oh, and I had to go find the box and pull it out and stitch it right up. So that is one of my finishes. And then another finish, this one I started, oh gosh, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. The chart was loaned to me by a friend, and it's an out of print Blackbird chart. And it's their song. And I love this. This is one of my very favorite Blackbird design stitches. And I stitched this on a 28 count light exemplar. And it is done. And I love it. I did not put the year on it. I may decide to go back and put the year on it before I frame it, but I haven't decided yet. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to put it in a black frame, just a simple black frame, which I think is what is showed, maybe a black one or a dark brown one on the model. But I love it. It's beautiful. I'm really glad that it's done, and I'm looking forward to getting this framed. And I'll share it again once it's been framed. So that was a finish. Was really happy to get that done. And then the other finish I had is another one for the cottage bedroom, and it's a Plum Street Berry Cottage. I think I was working on it last video. And this, oh gosh, I don't have my tags with it. I believe I stitched this on 36 count beige, Weeks Dye Works beige, and it's the Zweigart based beige. Here, let me put something behind this. And it's so cute. I just love it. It turned out beautiful. Those tiny sheep, that tiny little house, that house is no joke. That little one, I mean, the regular size one, you know, is a lot of stitching, but there is just as much stitching in the tiny house, which is over 1, and that little flower is over 1. But I think this is adorable. It's going to be so cute. I'm not quite sure what kind of frame I'm going to put this in, because the cottage bedroom is kind of, one wall is a kind of a pale buttermilk yellow, and the other walls are like a cream color, and it's kind of light and bright in there. So I could put it in a dark frame and really kind of set it off against all of that lightness, or I could put it in a white frame. I just haven't decided yet. But I'd like to get a frame for this soon, because I have retreat coming up, the retreat that I put on during Quilt Week here in Sisters every year, and I like to have the bedroom all decorated. And so that was completed, and hopefully I'll get that up before Quilt Week, which is the second week in July. It's the second weekend is the quilt show, which is on a Saturday, and then Quilt Week is the week in front of it, which you can attend classes. They use the high school here in Sisters, which is a really, really nice facility, and they use that and they do classes, and they have like a store set up in it. And then my group of ladies that I used to belong to the Quilt Guild in Olympia, they all come down and we quilt for a week. So that's a lot of fun. We've been doing this since 2015, except for during pandemic, we did not do that. So really looking forward to that. So that's another finish. I have some, I think I'm just going to keep going through finishes and then talk about where they came from. So the next one I'm going to show you is from a class that Lisa Kendra Stitcher and I took. We took a class in May, a couple weeks after the Farm Girl retreat. We took a class in May up at Acorns and Threads, and it was put on by Rebecca Nolan, which is Lucy Beam. And what we learned to do in that class is how to make a fabric pocket. And so in class, we actually made this pocket. So we didn't have to stitch anything in class. We just learned the construction process to make the pocket, and we put a little acorn on there, and we got all the supplies to do that. So this is stitched entirely by hand. And I'm probably going to do a little bit more decorating. And then I added something a little bit separate than it didn't call for, and that was a loop on the back. So I can either hang it like this, or I can hang it like this. And I think it's going to be adorable, hung on one of the bedroom doors, one of the retreat bedroom doors, and maybe stuffed full of greens or something. So that was what the class was. We learned to do that. And we also learned to make little acorns, and I just realized I don't have them here. Pause, be right back. I was wrong. They were sitting right in front of me. So we learned how to make little wool acorns. So I have several here. And Janine and Rebecca had a lot of acorn tops. So we got to make as many as we wanted. And Kindred Stitcher put a little patch on one of hers, so of course I had to copy her because who doesn't want to copy Kindred Stitcher? So here's some of the acorns that I made, and then I have an order in to get some more acorn tops. Here in Sisters, I don't think we have any oak, or at least oak that are going to have acorns that tall. But back in Olympia, where my son lives most of the time, there's a lot of oak. So I'm sending him on a mission to get me some acorn tops, or I'll order some from Amazon. And then we also got this cute acorn bell. Isn't that adorable? So we made those, and then we received a kit to do the actual pocket. So this is the actual class kit, and it is just darling. And we got everything to do. We got the floss, we got the backing fabric, and the linen, and I have already stitched it, and it is just adorable. So I have a new fall stitch. I'm going to be making it into the pocket soon. It'll probably take me maybe an hour or two to complete this. This is the fabric that came with the kit. I actually have some of this fabric line. It's a Kathy Schmetz line, and I have one that is kind of the same color as, well, the same color as the red in this stitch. So I haven't decided whether I'm going to use the yellow or whether I'm going to use the red. Either one of them is going to look adorable. It was so funny. I showed this on Instagram, and Anna of Stitch Roadies and Quilt Roadies, Anna Bates, she says, "Oh, you're stitching that for me," because all I had was the A and the B. And I laughed and I said, "Yeah, it's yours until I put that C in there." And then I took this to my stitch group, and one of my good friends, Ann Bryson, she said the very same thing. She goes, "Oh, this is for me. It has my initials on it." And it's a fat chance. But anyway, it's a lovely stitch. I don't know if this particular one, some of Acorns and Threads, they are not released anywhere, and the only place you can get them is at Acorns. So maybe look for it at Acorns in a year or so, but it's just adorable. I think I'm going to be making more pockets now that I have a pattern and I know how to do it. It was super easy, and these were the flosses. I really liked that. So Rebecca was a delightful lady. She had a great story about her family, and she had a great story. She had a lot of background knowledge on ladies' pockets and why they were really important to society, basically. So she talked about pockets mostly in the recent history. When I say recent, I mean the last couple hundred years, but it actually goes further back than that. So dresses did not have pockets. They had ties at the side where you would kind of wear your pocket underneath your skirt so that pickpockets could not steal from you. So it was very interesting. So hopefully that will become available through Acorns and Threads, and you'll be able to get that. I'm kind of bouncing all around here. The next thing that's a finish, and it's a fully finish, I just finished this morning. I took a class yesterday with Linda Van of AKA Van Mom. She's on Instagram, and she also, her and her friend Kate, who I also know, they just started a business together, and Linda and Kate has started designing. I think this design was just Linda, but I'm not sure. I don't want to misspeak, but it's the design and the class was called Top of the 10, and we did this yesterday, and I finished it this morning. So the stitch took me, I think I stitched on it for 2.5 hours yesterday, and I stitched less than 20 minutes this morning to finish it. So this is the stitch, and these are made to be on an Altoid 10. That's what this is. And so the class was to stitch it, and then she spent the last half hour of class just showing us how she put this together. It's pretty simple. And then I put wool in the top. I had put a pin cushion, so I have it's padded in the bottom, and that's a piece of Blackbird Design the original, not the reprint that just came out with Threads That Bind last year, year before last. This was the original fabric. I'd actually intended to put the pincushion thing on the top and the wool on the bottom, but you can't close the tent once you do that. It's very tight. So that was my last finish. I also put a piece of wool on the back, so on the bottom, so that when you set it on, whatever you're setting on, it's not going to mar. And then you're also covering up where it says Altoids and all of the non-nutritional information. So this is just super cute. I mean, this would be great for a retreat exchange because it stitches up really quick. It's very cute. I did talk to her this morning, and she says she's working on the chart to release it. So I don't know any specifics about how she's going to release it, but I would make sure that you are signed up or start following her Instagram account, which is AKA Van Mom. I'll put it right down here. And then there'll probably be something showing up. And I don't know, so she had 2 versions, and this is one version. I'm going to stitch the other version too, and they're mostly the same. The second version actually has a little border around it, and the second version is stitched on 46. This is stitched on 36. So I'm going to do the 46 one as well. And it's just super cute. I really, really enjoyed it. It was a cute little class to do. So that was my last finish. So I did get quite a few things done. I have some other stitching that I've been working on, which I'll talk about a little later because it has to do with quilting. And I'm going to back way up to the Farm Girl retreat and talk a little bit about that. I know several people have kind of showed things, so I'm going to breeze through it. But I'll just show you some of the things that I got at the retreat and some of the haul. So this here is the stitch. It was with Paulette Stewart, and this is kind of in my words, not necessarily hers. This looks like a follow-up to the one we got at the last retreat with Paulette, which was Live on Little. And this one is called An American Welcome. It's another water scenic thing. I love this. I think it is just adorable. Now, even though I lived at the port of Olympia, in Olympia, which is a port, it's a Bud Inlet, it's a bay. I'm not necessarily into water things, but I love this stitch. And I think what I'm going to do when I stitch it is I'm just going to stitch it down to here. And I might take this, well, I might leave the seagulls. I'm not sure. Anyway, I love it. This is just gorgeous. Several people had started it. Vanessa Flamefingers, she started it and she finished it, I think, within a week. So if you'd like to see it finished, go look at her on Instagram and you can see it finished. And it's just gorgeous. The colors are gorgeous. Got the chart. We got a beautiful piece of linen that Michelle Farm Girl dyed, especially for the retreat. We got all of the flosses. So here's all of the flosses. We also, that's not all of them. I'm sorry. Here's more. There's a lot of floss. And these were color and cotton. Now I've stitched with color and cotton before, and I really like it. But it's nice to have more colors. They are beautiful. The flosses are just gorgeous. This one, this spring moss, I really like that. It kind of looks like a darker version of Mountain Mist, and I just dropped a bunch of them. So we got those. We also got a package of thread milk floss holders for the DMC portion of that. And we received some other floss cards. Let me take it out of the plastic here so you can see. We received some other floss cards that have the sampler on there, and then this floss ring. And I like these floss rings, especially now that I'm having so much problems with my hands. It's nice to have an option. These, I'm not sure if it's easier or not, but it's nice to have where you can just untwist these versus trying to turn them and do this. So this was the floss ring that Here, let me move that floss ring that we received, and then we've got this cute little flag on there. So that was from Retreat. That was the Retreat kit, and I'm gonna, I'll just get those later. Also at Retreat, you know, there's always a big bunch of goodies. We received, I'm not going to show it, it's called Isabella's Flower. We received a cute little stitch from Ray at Red Barn Quilts. And, you know, several people still hand out. This is from Katrina Devine, and this is from Sue Ream. So got some floss cards. I really like that one. That's a Beth Twist design. Let's see, what else do I have in my little goodie bag here? Oh, we got this. And I collect these. I love them. So it's a floss holder from Farm Girl, and it has the ruler on there, so you can measure out your brain fog. Measure out your distance to start. Here's another gift we got, and this came from Antique Needleworkers. So there was very pretty floss drop and some bling. And and this one came from Karen Zarin. And that was great. She always brings such cool stuff. These were, oops, here, let me turn it over. I think I won this on a door prize. And these were Kathy Holden, so cute, and they are adorable. So I got those, some bling. What else do I have in here? This one came from Elaine Bauer, and it has some beautiful wool animals, embroidered animals on it. And she included some floss. And I don't remember where this came from. I think it came, did it come as part of the kit? I don't remember. Actually, you know what? This came as part of the class from Acorns and Threads, because it included these itty bitty tiny pins, which are nice when you're sewing where they're not long. So they're slightly longer than an applique pin, and they have a big fat head. So that's where that came from. I just dropped it in this box. And then we got this great little cubby collapsible folder thing. Let's see. It has a little tab that you can pull up, and it collapses, and then you can use this. But this was great because then you had a place to stuff all of your swag and doodads at the retreat. And I am so sorry, I do not remember, but there was a participant at the retreat who made one of these for every single person. So we had 100 ladies, and she made one of these. And again, I'm so sorry I don't remember your name, but they were adorable. They were packaged up in this beautiful little box. Mine has a ladybug and a strawberry pin, and I just think it's darling. Back at, I told you this is just a mess. Did get this from the Acorns and Threads class as well. So this was a little keychain and a threader. If you haven't seen these threaders, there was a gal that was at the retreat at Crabapple Hill, and she had a whole box of these, and she handed each of us one at the table. And I didn't think about it much at first, but the great thing about this, and I can't tell if you can see, there's a little divot right here that is a side of the hook. You put your needle on that, and it hangs in that spot, and then you put your thread through the hook and then pull it through. So you're not going to drop your needle while you're trying to do it. It has worked so well that I bought a box too. So you can get them on Amazon. It's like a box of, I don't know, 60 or more. I don't remember. I'll try to find the link, and I'll put it in the description for like $5, $5 or $6. But I really, really like them. So you can get enough to put in every project bag, or if you're if you have a lot of whips, then maybe you get 2 boxes. But super inexpensive. The only thing I don't like is that these edges are kind of pokey. I mean, they're not going to cut you or anything, but I was trying to figure out now, how can I put something on that or wrap it or do something so make them cuter and not so pokey. I still have to think about that and figure it out. So that was the swag and the doodads from the Farm Girl Retreat. So I'm going to kind of move some stuff around here. I still have a few things from the retreat and some goodies that we bought while we were in Amana and our trip to the Woolen Needle, and I will be right back, so hold tight. Okay, first things first. So when Lisa and I go into Amana, we generally fly into Chicago and get a rental car and then drive to Amana because it's faster and it's cheaper than taking a hop flight to Cedar Rapids to get there. So sometimes we hit stops along the way and we're driving along, and Lisa kind of mentions we did our stop at to get ice cream that we always get, and now I can't remember the name of the place that we always go in the Midwest, but we get corn dogs and ice cream. Real healthy stuff. But we're driving along. She's like, hey, I think Little Red Hen is on the way. Why don't you check? And I pulled up my phone and I looked at it. It's like, next exit. I mean, literally, we were 2 minutes away from the exit. And so we pulled off and stopped at Little Red Hen, which is probably my most favorite quilt store. It's a toss-up between that and Quilter Station, but it's just the most phenomenal store. They have quilting, they have cross stitch, they have punch needle, they have wool, and every corner that you turn, there's something that is more wonderful. And we had been there once before. I think it was pre-pandemic. Lisa and I and Michelle, Rudy, and Karen all went on a trip there just to see what it was like. So we didn't have a lot of time. We had about 45 minutes before they closed, but they always have great stuff. One of the things I love about the Little Red Hen, aside from them just being totally fantastic, is you can find a lot of out-of-print fabrics there. So I went searching through the out-of-print fabrics, and I got some great, this is a Betsy Chutchin. I got a charm pack. Now with charm packs, you can do project bags. You can do, I make Mondo bags. You can do Mondo bags. You can get a Mondo bag out of one charm pack. These are really great because I do a lot of reproduction fabrics, or I use a lot of them. And so you get a wide variety of fabrics. If you're doing a lot of piecing, this is a good way to really build out your stash. So if you're doing something scrappy, which is what I like, then you can get a lot of scraps. I also found an older line from Joe Morton. This is called Reflections, and these are just gorgeous. And then I loved all of these. I have several pieces of this fabric, but it's from several years ago, and it's Collections for the Cause. So there was a Collections for the Cause. I think I've bought some Collections for the Cause from them before. As I said, these are out of print, so to speak, but look at that red. Is that not fantastic? So I picked those up. And then I'm a little hazy on which of this I got from, there we go, I think it's this. So they also, we still find them, but they also have a lot of the old Blackbird design fabric. So this is a fat quarter. This is Autumn Lily by Blackbird Design. So I picked up that for fat quarter, and these two here are from the line Sweet Cherry Wine. And so I picked up some yardage, and their prices are super reasonable. I mean, here in Sisters, you're paying $14 or so a yard, $12.99, $14, $15, depending on what it is. Things like Tilda fabric is more expensive. This is also a Blackbird design, so I picked up some yardage there, and this is also a vintage Blackbird design. So I got some yardage of Blackbird that they had, and I was very tickled to do that, to add that to my collection. And then they had this piece of I didn't even notice it. I mean, you go through the store and you're just starstruck. I didn't notice it until right when we were getting ready to leave. So they had already rung me up and then they had to ring me up again. But they had a whole wall of David Textiles. Now, David Textiles, they do things, they do daiwabo, which are the Japanese fabrics, but they're all what they call yarn dyed wovens. So this is a yarn dyed woven and it was so pretty. This is going to be great for finishing smalls, or I have actually a large collection of yarn dye wovens. There's a quilt that I have in my list of things to do from Country Sampler that uses a lot of yarn dyed. So those are the ones I picked up at Little Red Hen on our way. The next thing I'm going to show you is, I'll show you some gifts. I'm going to just be bouncing back and forth because there's still a lot of stuff here. Our friend Marcy of Stitching at the Castle group, she's always there at Farm Girl Retreat. In fact, that's where we met her. The very first retreat we went to in 2017. I think so. It was the first it was the first spring retreat. Anyway, she brought Lisa and I some little gifts, and because I have kitties and Lisa has kitties, she brought us this book. And I have to tell you, this book is amazing. So it's called Cats and Cardigans and Other Attire, and it's for scrapping. And throughout the book, it's just pictures of cats in different attire. It is so cute. I've taken this to 2 of my stitch groups, and I think people got online right then and there and they ordered them. I think Marcy needs to get a commission because I'm sure that there was at least 30 books of this sold. And if I recall, I think there's another one for cats and then there's a couple for dogs. But this one, I love this one. She is so sweet. She looks like my little Fiona. And look at that one. Isn't he hysterical? So these are so cool. So she got this for Lisa and I. So that was a stitchy gift. And then she also gave us each a card, and isn't that pretty? So it's a little girl and her dress is out of a handkerchief. It's just one of those things that, you know, you're not quite sure you're ever going to open it and use it. You're just going to leave it like that. It's so pretty. So those were from our friend Marcy. And then let's see, then we went shopping again. So we roll into town. First night we did a surprise. Well, we went out to dinner. Then we did a surprise birthday cake for Michelle. It was a big birthday for her. So those of us who were staying at the same bed and breakfast, we did a big birthday celebration. So if you haven't wished her a happy birthday, it's a couple months gone by, but go ahead and wish Michelle a happy birthday. So we did that, and then the next morning, I think, is when we went into Williamsburg, Iowa, to the needlework place, the woolen needle. I did really good this time. I did not buy that much. This is usually where I spend the bulk of my money, but I did pick up a kit. It's a Maggie Bononomy. So last year, Maggie, I think, taught at the woolen needle, and last year I think I showed you a kit that I picked up that was for like a fabric pocket. This year I picked this up. There was 2 kits I wanted, but I held back, so I got that. So the whole kit has all of the wool and everything. And then did pick up some fabric, so I can't remember all of the lines. This is the one I think Lisa and I both got fabric. This is, I can't see the name. It's an Andover fabric, but it's gorgeous. Isn't that spectacular? The color is just phenomenal. And then I just picked up some miscellaneous fabrics. Oh, this one was really great. So again, I like scrappy quilts. And I think this was, it doesn't have a name on it. Oh, here we go. This is Patch It by Vicki McCarty by Marcus Fabrics, and it's printed where you have several fabrics on one yard. So if you get a yard, so that's one side, and then the other side is different. So you can get a lot of fabric, a lot of piecing out of 1 yard of fabric that is all color coordinated, and you're not having to buy a bunch of little pieces. So I picked up that. I thought that was kind of cool. I've seen it before, but I hadn't seen it in a while. I mean, something similar to that. Here's another yarn dye, and it's just a beautiful red. Here is the same fabric as the teal, the greeny teal that I just showed you. This is also part of that line. It was right up there by the register. Neither Lisa or I could get out of the store without it. And then they have this beautiful stripe. And I just love stripes. There's so much you can do with them, and they add such texture to anything that you're piecing. So that was some more fabric haul that I got. And I have some more over there. Where did I buy that? I'll have to think about that. So that was from the Woolen Needle. And this, oh, I think I bought this in Amana. So in Amana, there is a just kind of kitty corner from where the retreat center is. There's a little quilt shop, and they've also started carrying cross stitch. They had a little bit even the first year we were there, but they keep increasing it. But they had a lot of great fabric there. And I bought 3 pieces of William Morris, maybe 4 pieces of William Morris. I think that's where I got this. If it isn't, I got it somewhere, but I got some William Morris. And then I think this is, I believe this is probably a Tim Holtz or Kathy Holden fabric. And this, oh, I know where this is from. I'm sorry, back up. This is not from the quilt shop in Amana. This is from the quilt shop in Portland. When we went to the Acorns and Threads, we went to Pioneer Quilts. That's where I got this. Pioneer Quilts is definitely in my top 3 favorite shops too. And then I bought this beautiful piece of French General. And then I bought several yards of this, and I think this is an older laundry basket, I believe. I'm looking here. I could be wrong. Yes, this is an older laundry basket. It's super bloom. And I'm actually going to make a top out of this, or a jacket. Kind of like a loose jacket. And it's really, really pretty. So that's not all of the fabric I bought. I have one more bundle to show you that I know I did buy in Amana. So that's some of my haul. Like I told you, I'm a little discombobulated here about all my stuff. So this I did buy in Amana. So Michelle went, we all take off and take a break and go shopping, go get coffee, whatever. And Michelle walked back from the little quilt shop across the way, and she had this fat quarter bundle. And I was like, ooh, I think I need that fat quarter bundle. So I picked it up too. And this is going to be for a quilt, or at least part of it's going to be for a quilt in the cottage bedroom. And I think, nope, I've got one more to show you. And this I also got at the quilt shop in Amana, and it's a panel, and I think this is a Kathy Holden as well, but it's these birds. I have no idea what I'm going to use them for. Probably project bags. Oh, I'm sorry, this is Jay Wecker. So not Kathy Holden, Jay Wecker. Jay Wecker does those awesome steampunk ladies and skeletons and that sort of thing. So, but I love birds. So this will be pretty. And they're all postage. I don't know if you noticed that. They're like place stamp here. There's a postage thing there. Anyway, so I think that's all the fabric now, except for linen, of course. So I have a little bit of cleanup to do here. I'm going to pause again real quick, and we'll look at some more haul and then we'll look at plans. Okay, one of the other places that we went, we did a little driving around the different Amanas, and we went to the broom store in Amana, and then we also stopped and went to one of the general stores. That one, there's more than one. This one was in one of the other Amanas, and I don't remember if it was Main Amana, South Amana, High Amana. Sorry, I have a hair in my eye. But it was the general store, and I'm going to throw some pictures up of the general store in here. It is the original general store. It's still set up as the general store. You find things in there that you wouldn't find anywhere else. And I picked up a couple. These are handmade in Amana by someone who lives there, and I just thought they were adorable. So they are carrots, and I especially like the ticking carrot. So I didn't want to forget these. I'll probably make some of my own, but I bought these. I thought they were so cute. One of my other best finds in Amana is this. There is a potter there, and they do vintage looking pottery. They do it in a color that you would never find during that era. You would actually find this color during like the 20s or earlier, but not on a bowl like this. So this looks like a yellowware bowl from the style, but the color is different. It's this beautiful green, and it matches a lot of my house and my pottery, and I collect vintage pottery. They had bigger ones, and they had like pie plates and things like that. And I think every time I go, I'll probably collect another piece. But you are kind of limited when you're flying about how much you can bring back, and breakables and that sort of thing. So I did get this little bowl. It's the perfect size to put in my hutch or to put, you know, like smalls in or whatever. And I just love this, and super reasonable, very reasonable, both as pottery and just anything. So I think this was $18, super reasonable. So that was at the general store. Let's see, do I have anything else from Amana on the table? I do not. Some other haul that I acquired. This was acquired at Acorns and Threads when we were there, and it's I have two pieces of Lakeside. And this one is vintage cedar plank, which is in 40 count, and it's one of my favorite colors. And so I think this is a fat quarter. Yep, fat quarter of this. And then I also picked up a piece of vintage sand dune. And yeah, those colors are pretty true. So I think I'm liking this lighting so far. You'll have to put me a comment down below telling me if the lighting works for you guys. The other thing, one of my favorite pieces of haul in this last time period is a book. And I was looking for French General something online, and I saw this pop up. So this book was published in, I don't even see where my glasses are. Let's see if I can see this. This book was published, I think, in 2010, if I recall. I looked at it before. Got to squint here. I can't see it, it's too small, but I think it was somewhere around 2010. And it is a French General book, and it's beautiful. It's spiral bound, and it has in the front, it has all of the patterns, and then there is just amazing stuff in here. So, you know, I love me some French General, but it has like small pillows, you know, like little, here, I'll just show you. You know, little pin pillows. It has how to make linen sheets. It has shoe bags, bed skirts, pillowcases. So it's sewing for the home. It's not something necessarily to do with cross stitch. Look at this floor pillow. Isn't that great? But the book itself is just stunning. I mean, of course, it has all this French General. Oh, there's some embroidery in there. French General usually puts out a piece of linen for embroidery in a lot of their lines. Totes. There's a scallop tablecloth. Let's see what else is in here. Coasters. I mean, look at these coasters. Marcy, look at these coasters. I think they would work for your table. And all of the chapter pages look something like that. Isn't that gorgeous? So you'll have to find it on the secondary market. I found it on the secondary market. I don't think I paid a whole lot for it. I think it was less than $12. I don't know how easy it is to find, but I love it. It's just gorgeous. Look at the pillows there. It's like a coffee table book for me. So that's one of my favorite pieces of haul. Let's see. Do I have any other? Oh, yes. I've been making these cute little zip open bags, and I ordered, and they're so cute. These are from Lori Hall. I'm sure you've probably seen them on her videos. I ordered one set of each of these double zipper bags, or double pull zippers. They were very economical as far as zippers go, because if you have to, first of all, even find the double pull zippers, and then when you get the whole set, I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I do know that I think the whole set was the same price as just buying two by themselves somewhere else. So I bought those to work on those little zip up open bags. I don't know if I have showed those. I'm not sure. Hold please, I will show you anyway. Okay, this is what I was talking about. These are a Minky Kim pattern, and I will put the name of the pattern right down below. I saw it on her Instagram page, thought it was super cute, ordered it, downloaded it, and made one the first day. So these are super fun. They're a great way to use up scraps. This was all from my scrap pile. I doctored my zipper a little bit. I got this at I got this at this retreat, the attic retreat, the summer school attic retreat one year. I just put that on the end, and I put a little doodad on this end. So having the zippers that open that way is really nice. You don't have to have one, but they're kind of nice. So I ordered them to make more of these. And you would not believe the amount of loot this holds. So when you open it up, it opens up quite large. And this is the one that I use to take to Stitch Group every week. So I have, this was another gift from Farm Girl Retreat. Cannot remember her name. Darn it. I will put it down below if I remember. But she gifted Lisa and I both one of these. And this, I believe, is a Blackbird design fabric, or at least the interior one is, I know. So that was a little pair of scissors, and it says brother. I've got my little needle pen keep that I made, and my glasses, and a thread bed, and a little Ort thing. I've got my little baby Kai scissors in here. I've got a Kana, just like a magnet, and you put your needles in it. That's in there. So I have all that stuff in there, including my hoop. It all fits in there, and this just goes in my bigger Mondo bag, and I take that to Stitch Group. It just sits in my car all the time, so I always have my stitchy stuff. So that's what these were for. Long story longer. Okay, so let's see. Haul. I have another stitchy gift. So when I went, because I was gone a full week when I went to the Midwest, and I had my aunt and my cousin and my aunt's sister-in-law, they came and stayed with the kittens, which they really enjoyed. So they had their own little mini quilt retreat here. But when I got back, my aunt's sister-in-law had left me a gift. And I couldn't believe it. And I don't know how she knew, but she knew. Look at this. I don't know where she purchased it from. If anybody's interested in one of these, I can certainly reach out to her. It had to have been local here in Sisters or in Bend. Is that not gorgeous? So this is a good, 6 inches or 6.5 inches across. And it has room, and they're numbered. It has room to put 30 different flosses on there, and besides that, it is so pretty. So that was a Stitchy Kindness, which I thought I was getting the really good end of the deal because they're here, they're watching the kittens, and I got here and she had gifted that to me. So I was super excited to get that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's talk about, let's see. I have one more thing that I have been working on that I'll show you, and then we'll talk about plants. So at one of my local stitch groups that I go to every week or every other week, we have just some wonderful stitchy friends. It's a great group. There's a lot of ladies who do wool applique. There's ladies who piece on quilts. There's several of us who do cross stitch, but we all kind of, you know, bring whatever stitching that we want to bring. Sometimes people bring their sewing machine. We have a great facility that we meet in. It's a big, bright room with lots of windows. They set up for us. They take it down, and it's fantastic. We really like it. The only thing we miss is that where we used to meet was in a quilt shop. So if it was a quilt shop, they had all of that, that would have been even better. But one of the gals at there, she is like cleaning out, you know, a lot of her stitchy stuff. So she brought a couple big bags in, and she brought me some spools. She brought me some, oh please, I need a drink of water here. My new water bottle, 64 ounces. She brought me some spools, some old spools. She brought me some old sewing Notion paraphernalia. I'm going to put a picture in right here where I took a drawer out of my spool cabinet and just kind of laid everything out. It looks really cute. And then she brought me just these pieces of a quilt. So I've been putting this quilt together. It's really pretty. I would call it chocolate covered cherries. I'm pretty sure that this right here is a Blackbird design fabric. I don't remember the line, but I'm almost positive that that's a Blackbird design fabric. This, I think, is another fabric line, but I have some of this in another quilt that I started making probably 10 or 15 years ago. Anyway, so I believe that this is called, I don't think this is called a lattice. I think it's called a basket weave. So I have about half of it put together. So I've been working on this. I have another, this width of strips, this way. It'll be a square quilt. So I don't know, it's maybe, I'll start here. It's maybe 60 inches. It'll be 60 inches square. And I need to decide as I'm sewing on this whether I'm going to put a border on it or just make it a very small lap quilt. But it's really pretty. And she knew I love Blackbird design, so she brought me this, and I'm working on putting that together. So that's something I've been stitching on. I've also been doing a little bit of clothing stitching. It was so funny when I saw that Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch was working on that. I'd finished it, and I was going to show it to you today, but it's not here in the room, so I'll have to show it to you next time. So I completed that. I've been doing some other odds and ends. I've been working on things for my quilting retreat, for retreat swag. Can't show those quite yet, but you'll see them maybe next video. And I think that that's like all the things I've been working on since last we spoke. So now let's get on to plants. And let's see, so it's nearing July, and my friends, my stitchy friends, the Stitching at the Castle group, several of us, I think all of us but one or two, were at the retreat, and we made the decision after we saw this to kit it up, and we're going to do our own little stitch along. So a stitch along group, and we're going to do the Plum Street Summer Moon. So I have almost all the floss. I think I have about 3 DMC that I need to get. So this uses Classic Colorworks DMC and Weeks Dye Works. So I have most of them there. Aren't they pretty? I have not chosen linen yet. I need to go through my linen and decide, but it will most likely be a 36 or a 40. I have a lot to choose from. So by the time you see me next time, I will have started that. We're going to start that on July 1st. So that is one plan. I'm also going to do a little bit of stitching, Christmas in July stitching. So back at the end of December, I think I showed and talked about a lot of these little smalls that I had pulled and that I wanted to get started and I didn't. So I may just get them started. I may work on one until it's completed. I'm not sure, but here's some possibilities of stitching in Christmas in July. This is a Not Forgotten Farm, and this right there. And this is another Mary Snow. So there's more than one Mary Snow pattern. I don't remember who else the other Mary Snow was. So this is from Lori Brecklin. I got this at Country Sampler in their clearance bin, and it calls for DMC. So I have it kitted up. And the only thing I've changed to kind of make this a Christmas versus just a very pretty arts and crafts looking stitch is I darkened the orange to 355. So I don't have any linen pulled for any of these. I just have the charts pulled, and so here is the floss. So a dark green, a sagey green, an ecru, and 355. So that is one possibility. I also have the Mary Bell, words are hard. Mary Bell sampler. This is a Lori Rippey, and these were PDF downloads. And you can see the colors are very similar. So medium greens, reds, and a very dark green. So that is that one. And then I have the companion that she released this year. And I don't have the picture showing here. Let me see if I can find it. Again, I believe you can get all of these as a PDF download. So the companion to Mary Bell, and I think they're very close to, if not exactly the same size. This is Hospitality and Good Cheer. And I have my floss. Those beautiful reds and greens and ecrus and winter whites. That's a possibility. This is a Stacy Nash that I had all kitted up and did not get started. This is my working copy, and that's Mary Penkeep. And again, here are the flosses. You can see a theme coming on here, but these are all going to look gorgeous with my decor. And then this one I don't have kitted up, or these last two I don't have kitted up. And they were both, I think, downloads, PDF downloads that you can get from Not Forgotten Farm, Lori Brecklin. And this one is White Christmas. And I really love this one. Merry Old Christmas. Sorry if there was a glare there. So I may do one, I may start them all. I am not sure, but I have them all in one bag and they are ready to go. And I'm kind of excited about doing, or at least getting them started. It really works well for me to start something, to stitch in the season that you're in or close to. Get it started, maybe not get it done, and then pick it up half done or close to done the next season and knock it out. You get the best of both worlds. So I really like doing that. So that's some Christmas in July plans. I have one other, I don't have it here to show you, that my Stitchy group is working on, and it's some Prairie School Santas, and I will show you that maybe sometime in July. This is a new acquisition that I just got. So Lisa Kendra Stitcher finished this, and when I was with her, I don't know if she brought it, I think it's when she brought it to the Farm Girl retreat, or maybe when she brought it to Acorns and Threads, and I was like, oh, that really needs to go into my cottage bedroom. I think it would look great in there, Lisa. And she says, yeah, I think it would, but you need to stitch it. So I just got this chart in the mail today, and it's going to go in my list of things to work on for the cottage bedroom. So those are things I'm going to be working on. I'm going to continue to work on, I've got them right here. I'm going to continue to work on a couple other Brenda Gervais that I have been working on. The first one is Every Opening Flower. So I got that a start on that. And I may have put in a few stitches since I last showed it, but not a whole lot. Maybe just kind of the beginning of the bee cartouche. So I have that started again for the cottage bedroom. And then I have, let me see, can I find the chart here? Yes. This one is called Forever and Ever, and I have a good start on it as well. And I'm doing the modified version. So there's a large version that has a lot of words on it, and then there's the modified version. And I am sorry, I don't have the picture of it here because all I have is my working copy. So I will try to put a picture up here if I can find one of that. But again, both of those will go in the cottage bedroom. So you can kind of see the colors I'm going for in there. So plan to put some stitches in on that in the next month or so. And then I have some others that have been languishing since last summer, and I'm going to be working on those. And one of them is the sampler that I'm doing for my maternal grandmother. Her name is Ruby, and I am stitching Roses for Ruby. I did not finish it last year like I planned, so I really need to finish it this year. And this is where I'm at. So I'm starting on the center bouquet. I love that border. Isn't that not just as pretty as it can be? It's going to be so beautiful when it's done. I believe, yes, I pulled the colors myself from mostly my Victoria Motto stash. And I matched them up to the called for, but I think the colors are gorgeous. I am stitching this on, hopefully I have it here. I'm stitching this on a 36 count Weeks Dye Works Aspen. And then when I get to it, I'm not going to stitch these birds. I'm probably going to put in a little dog. So I'm going to pull up one of another Scarlet house because I know that she has a ton that have little dogs on it, and I'm going to put little dogs there because my grandmother always had a little pooch. The whole time I knew her, she always had some sort of little dog. So I'm going to try to get that done this summer. My goal is to get it done before the end of August. And then I have one more set, no, two more sets. I had started, was it last year that these came out or a year before last? I don't remember. All of from the book from Brenda Gervais. So I have that and I have that done, and I don't remember the name of the book because I don't have it in front of me. Let's see, is it on my working copy? It's all the tomato pincushion things. I don't have this one done. And then I added in, and I've linked this before, so you'll need to go back and look at a past FlossTube. And I'll see if I can find a link again. This is a free pattern from Country Living from May 2015. And I thought that it would go well with all the tomatoes. So that's in there. And I think I have one more to stitch. So these are all being stitched on the call for 36 count Vintage Country Mocha. And this is the floss ring for that. So I'd like to get those done and get them finished. In the bag with this, I also have my ABC Pins and Me. I like to get that put together. That shouldn't take me very long. And then also to go with the collection, I'm going to stitch I Collect, also by Brenda Gervais, and Mice in the Sewing Room, also by Brenda Gervais. So I think that all together will make a lovely Smiles collection. I'm not sure what I'm going to display it in, but whatever it is, it's going to look cute. And this is in a Kindred Stitcher project bag. That's all red tomatoes. And so I want to get that finished. And then there's something that I really want to get started. It's been kitted up for, oh golly, a couple of years. Do I have two things here? I have two things here. Well, let's see what that is. So the one I was just talking about is, of course, the Summer Schoolhouse. I have loved these forever. Of course, it has the strawberry, so these will go just perfect in the cottage bedroom. So I have the whole set. I have the entire alphabet. And the finishing one, I have the called for 28 count Lugana and the threads. And this is all stitched over one, which I have done stitching over one. I haven't done entire stitches over one, so we'll see how that goes. And I think that doesn't look like all the threads. I think I have the get started threads on here, and then I think I changed mine. I think it's calls for mushroom Lugana, and I decided to go with light taupe Lugana is what I'm going to do mine on. So I really want to get those started. That kind of feels like a September finish to me. You know, alphabet, schoolhouse. I always think September. But I'd like to get started on that. And actually, I think, oh my gosh, that's it. I have absolutely no idea how long this video was, but glad to be back. Hopefully, I will get one done in the next 3 weeks or so. I do plan on doing a video with some cameos during my retreat. The ladies that come, they always have some beautiful quilts to show. They bring show and tell. Last year, all of them had a quilt in the quilt show. This year, I'm not sure who's going to have one in the show or not, but they have a challenge quilt that we started, that we put together last year. I have a challenge for them coming up this year that they don't know about yet. So that will be kind of fun. And I have a lot to do between now and then. So probably you won't see me again for at least the 3 weeks. And then I might throw in some pictures from the show too. Generally, there's always the, there's this, display. I can't think of the name. It's a traveling quilt thing from Cherrywood Fabrics. Last year it was Bob the painter. It was wonderful. It was great. I don't know what this year's Cherrywood Challenge is. Cherrywood Challenge, that's what it's called. I don't know what it is this year. I'll have to look it up, but there's always just fantastic quilts from that. They're all the same size. They all have to use specific color scheme from Cherrywood Fabrics. And if you're not familiar with Cherrywood Fabrics, they are cottons, but they look like suede. In fact, I think I have a setup here. Hold on, I'll show you what they look like. Okay, these are fat quarter bundles that I have collected over the years. I used to go to the Quilt Expo in Puyallup every year, Sew Expo, and they always had a booth there. But here are the colors. They're not printed. They're all hand dyes. But let's see if I can get a good, there, the blue. So here's another one. See the variegation and variation, and they feel suede. They are just so pretty. So here's another. Oh, that's gorgeous. So these are Cherrywood. So here's, and every year they pick a color palette. So in past years, they did, I think the first year was Wicked, based off the Broadway play. They did Wicked. They did Princess Diana. That was in pinks. They did prints. That was in purples. I think that was 3 years ago. If you're not familiar with them, go online and look at the Cherrywood Challenge, and you will see pictures. And after every challenge, I think they take the top 250 or 300, something like that, and they publish a book. And I believe that proceeds go to charity. Here's another. But you can see all of the past challenges, and they're just amazing. And you have a very short time period once the challenge is announced to buy your fabric. It's like a fabric packet that you buy, and submit your quilt. And here's another. It's like a fall. But aren't these gorgeous? I've not been able to bring myself to cut into them yet, but I love them. So I almost totally forgot. I have been meaning to give away 2 charts for a long time. I received these from Wendy a while back, quite a while back. And I meant to give them away, but they got stuck in a pile and I lost them. I couldn't find them. But as I was cleaning up things and getting ready for retreat, I came across them again. And so I'm really happy to give these away. Thank you so much, Wendy, for sending these to me to pass on to my viewers. And they're just gorgeous. There actually was a couple that she sent that I'm keeping. And I love both of these, but I know I won't get to them. So I'm going to go ahead and put these out for a giveaway. If you want either of these charts, please don't say giveaway in the comments. You need to be 18, etc., etc., etc. So, and you need to be a subscriber. So I want to gift these to people who subscribe and watch me. So the first one is the Token of Love, and there's just this gorgeous red house in this sampler, and it has a peacock on top. I love it. It's so cute. So if you are interested in this one, you need to put the word love in your comment, and you will be entered and be a subscriber, and you'll be entered to win this. The second one, and this is an original sampler. The second one that I'm giving away is a reproduction, and I love this one too. This one, I was really torn. There's so much about this sampler that is so pretty. This one is Xavier Hearn, and it's a Spanish sampler and a reproduction. I love the bar stitches. That's not what they're called. That's just what I'm calling them, but just these big blocks of a stitch. They're so pretty. Xavier Hearn, and if you're interested in this one, put in the word Spanish. So Spanish and love, and you can enter for both of them, but you can only win one. And then I'd like you to answer a question. You don't have to put the words in the answer. You can just put the words, and you don't have to answer the question, I guess, either. But I'm super interested in what your favorite 4th of July picnic food is. Mine is probably pie. But there's a lot of other things I really like. Corn on the cob. I'm a big corn on the cob fan. Usually a picnic, or when I lived in Olympia, we had Lake Fair, which was in July, and there was always, from the time I was a little kid, a corn on the cob booth, and that was definitely my favorite thing to get. So tell me what's your favorite 4th of July picnic food, and if you're interested, put in the word love or the word Spanish, and you will be entered to win. And I will pick something from the random comment generator, and I will let you know who won in the next video. Okay, ladies and gents, I think that's all for today. I need to sit down and edit this and get it uploaded, and looking forward to seeing you again in 2 or 3 weeks. And until then, take care. Bye-bye.